Welcome back to Biz Today. In studio, we've got our success story for the week. As you know, on Biz Today, we always bring in successful entrepreneurs. We speak to industry experts about leading business topics. But today, we focus on DW Bullion. Now, you would have seen this particular business in your nearest mall, and we've got one of the co-founders, Daniel Tall, in studio, who, before the break, Daniel, we were talking about the growth of the business, challenges you faced, and what's important to you in the business, and also how important partnerships are. Yeah. I know as we went to break, we were having a small discussion about the happiness of staff and what that means for you, particularly at DW Bullion. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I didn't realise before we started, but one of the most enjoyable areas of the business I've found is when I see our staff progress through the ranks, you know, and when somebody just gets it or they've got it, you know, and it's undeniable. You can see it almost a mile away, and seeing them come through the ranks where they get promotion after promotion, they start at the lowest, they get to the middle, they get near the top, and as I was saying to you at the break there, our bookkeeper is now one of our partners, you know, and that would have to be one of the best feelings I get from our business most of the time. You know, it's sometimes you get bad staff, and that's just part of the game. Of course. But I'd have to say, on a whole, most people are pretty good. You know, and I don't know whether that's because we treat them well, or you know, humans are just generally pretty good. But we've had some real success stories in staff through our business, and that's a fantastic part of business. And
of course, that has a massive knock-on effect to the business directly, because if the staff are happy, then they automatically put the customer who services the business first, and for you, that's a first also. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, fantastic. I love it when I see customers come in. If I visit my stores quite regularly, all of us do. The three owners, we go around on a weekly basis, seeing our staff and seeing the stores, and get to meet the customer. And that's vital in a retail business, or almost any business, I would say, is to get face to face with the customer. You know, talk to the customer, see if the customer is happy, not just think they are from your desk.
Yes.
You know, to get right in front of them, and I still do transactions from time to time when I can with the customers. I test their goal, we go through it, we organise the payment and so forth, and they walk away, and I no better feeling than when a customer walks away. They hear us through our marketing, so you know that's working. They come in, they got an unknown value of commodity sitting in their home that they thought was just broken jewellery, and you give them that value, and we give them the value that it's more than what they expected, and they walk away very happy, and the whole system just worked. The one of the best parts of business is when it's a well-oiled machine. You know, you're putting money into marketing, that's working, your staff are happy, and that whole HR thing is working well. You've got staff coming through the ranks, and that's a well-oiled business, a well-oiled machine. It's conditioned to the market. You know, it's all working well. That's a fantastic feeling.
Now, I want to understand also, I mean, your business is dictated a lot by markets and people's understanding of their gold that they already own as a commodity that can be traded for them, simply from the comfort of their own homes to the mall, as it were. Yeah. How does technology help you to either boost the company or has changed the way you operate?
Yeah, we're quite a heavy technology-driven company, and the fact that even though gold is one of the oldest commodities in the world, that was the first thing to be traded, you know, after cattle. We use technology to find out a lot about our customer, you know, and then we can target our marketing much more specifically. Sure. Through radio, through digital, you know, SMSs, whatever marketing we use at the time. So technology is heavy. We are forced because of our licensing situation to take quite a few details of our customer. Yeah. We take a few extra, and then we analyse that marketing on a monthly basis to see if we're targeting right, who's coming in, you know, whether a store's missing a particular age group or a different sex that's not coming into the store for whatever reason. You know, so we can chat to the staff to see if they've got any problems, or if the marketing is not working there for whatever reason. You know, so we're quite a heavy technology-based business.
And as we're seeing around the world, technology is fast becoming the driving force behind most industries.
Yeah,
That's interesting to hear. So you're always looking at how to better improve the service to your customer. What are some of the other ways that you employ to ensure the quality that you first, your mission for the business is to always ensure quality service to the customer. How do you continually improve that, aside from upskilling staff, keeping them happy, and then looking at the processes you follow?
Well, we have regular area management meetings with all of our top level guys on a bi-monthly process. So we talk to them individually on a weekly process, going around the country. We have bi-monthly meetings where we get everyone together and nut at all of these things, and we look at customer complaints. We don't really have that many, to be honest, but we look at everyone quite seriously.
Yeah.
We look at stores that aren't doing well and why, and we analyse it. And we use the technology all the information and the technology that we gathered over those previous 2 months to analyse that at the same time. So it's it would be that meeting which is so vitally important to us, that we get everyone together and nut everything out in one room. And it's a complete, you've got freedom to say whatever you want. If the company's not treating a customer very well and no one's listening, they get to bring it up, and everyone gets the time to nut out all their bits and pieces.
There's often a common idea or theme among people, and particularly South Africans, that if they go somewhere to sell a commodity as a second-hand item, the ethical buying practice behind that, how do you maintain that in the business, or have you had a conversation? Are you having those conversations with customers?
No, we actually, once again, we use that to our advantage. We've got quite a strict series of rules we must follow to stay compliant, and we advertise that, because a lot of people don't. They don't follow the rules. So we advertise that, and we make sure that we tell people, look, we've got indemnity forms, we've got this form, we're going to need your ID. There's a photo of the...
And that puts people off very quickly in terms of...
Especially if you don't own the gold.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So by forcing our compliance on us, which is a good thing, to be compliant, we've taken that as an advantage, going, right, we're going to tell everyone that we are the best. We're the best because we do it right. We're in the best locations, and so we've brought that to a front. We've brought it to we're not hiding behind it. We've brought it to the customer's face. And our staff are reprimanded heavily if they don't follow that process. So everyone does it. I think that's a good thing. It shows people that we're as honest as we say we are.
100%, because the old adage of you must do what's right and what's not what's easy, and it's harder to do what's right instead of doing what's easy. So when you talk about having to stay compliant with and to make sure that your certifications are up to scratch and you're always meeting the requirements or the standards to remain compliant, that's not easy, especially in an economy like ours. So we have to congratulate you on the many years you've come through and maintain those standards, because that gives real confidence to the customer in buying.
Once again, you can use all of these things to your advantage, but
they become competitive advantages in the business against for a bigger market, right?
You can never build a business that isn't compliant. You can never do it. Not a successful business. Something that you can pass on or to your children, or you can sell. You always need to be a compliant business, and no matter what industry you're in. And the more compliant you be, the better. It gives your customer a nice, solid, honest feel. Which is the truth. And anything that's dodgy, smells dodgy, it looks dodgy, it is dodgy. It's
that's right.
Pretty much the way it is. So if you reverse that and you do everything more compliant and more sharp, you just look better. You get more customers, and it's a business you can end up selling if you want to. The business becomes a commodity itself.
What are some of the plans you have for DW Bullion going into the next, the World Economic Forum titled the Fourth Industrial Revolution?
Okay. Well, we're a bricks and mortar kind of business. Gold is the oldest traded sort of currency in the world. Yeah. So we would like to carry on doing business the way we are. Apart from, we don't believe our customers know enough about how much they're helping the world. in the fact of greenhouse gases, etc. You know, so I want to focus more on letting our customers know about how much they're helping, and the recycling is so much better than digging out of the ground.
And education drive, of course, is in line with that.
So I want to portray that more to our customers. You know, we've also just opened a second area of the business, which is a gold refinery, and that's we're going to be wholesaling, buying wholesale gold from other gold recyclers too. You know, and doing it in the most efficient. We're buying the most efficient machinery to once again try and not add or subtract from the carbon footprint of South Africa. You know.
What's Daniel? What would be some final words of advice you can give to aspiring entrepreneurs out there, especially entrepreneurs who have limited resources, but they're trying to think about what they can do in this market and they want to move forward? They do have the desire.
Okay, there's a common myth that you need a lot of money to start a business. Yeah, no, you don't. You need some, but not as much as
you need.
Yes, that's right. You don't have to go and buy a big, huge business. You can. It's actually better to build one from scratch. You know, but you've got to keep your focus on the goal. You've got to stay compliant, and if you link yourself up with people that just aren't quite right, they're probably not. Use your first instinct. It's very, very important.
I like that. If you link up with people who are not right, they probably aren't.
Yeah. Something somebody told me years ago and it stuck with me.
100%. Daniel Tall, it was so wonderful to have you on Biz Today, and thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for inviting me. It's been fantastic.
Excellent. So we've been speaking with Daniel Tall today, one of the co-founders of DW Bullion. You would know it from your nearest mall. They buy jewelry, gold jewelry. I mean, one of the oldest currencies in the world to be traded on. So go to your nearest mall, find DW Bullion. All the details are up on screen if you want to find out more about them. Today we explored DW Bullion as a success story, and we've learned so many things: the importance of partnerships and how you need to be absolutely compliant in your business to run a successful, strong, sustainable business. We know we have those challenges, especially in the South African context, because of maybe sometimes people not wanting to follow the rules and making it much more difficult for you to comply. But it's just some of the lessons we've been able to take away, and we thank Daniel and his team for sharing that story with us today. Until next week, goodbye.